Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Diane Schwartz. I'm a professor at Hofstra University, and my area of specialty is early childhood special education. I'm here today with my colleague, Dr. Steve Hernandez, and a community partner, Carolyn Gammerman.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Steve Hernandez. As Dr. Schwartz noted, the Director of Early Childhood Special Education, and we're really happy to have you joining us with this at this webinar. And I'm very happy to introduce our community partner colleague, Carolyn Gammerman.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Carolyn Gammerman, and I am the Coordinator of Training at Variety Child Learning Center.
Today we have some exciting things to tell you. If you're an individual who is interested in working with young children with disabilities, we have a great opportunity for you.
So as the United States Department of Education noted in their policy statement from September of 2015, all young children with disabilities should have access to inclusive, high-quality early childhood programs. And for that reason, the United States Department of Education Office of Special Education Services awarded grants totaling $2.5 million to Hofstra University to prepare students to become early childhood special educators.
There are two distinct programs that lead to certification in early childhood special education, which is birth through second grade. One is called HECIP, the Hofstra Early Childhood Interdisciplinary Professionals Program. That program is a dual certification program that leads to New York State certification in early childhood special education and early childhood certification. The other grant that we have is called HECIS, Hofstra Early Childhood Intervention Specialist Program. That program is for individuals who are already certified and want to be certified in early childhood special education and also have a specialty in applied behavior analysis.
So a little bit more about the HECIP program, or as we also call it, the Inclusive Early Childhood Special Education Program. This is a 48-credit dual certification program leading to certification in early childhood education as well as early childhood special education, as Dr. Schwartz just mentioned. We talk about and students learn child development, both typical and atypical, formal and informal assessment, research-based methodologies, and instruction, and as well as collaboration among stakeholders are the major foci of the program. This program reflects an integrated interdisciplinary approach that incorporates coursework in literacy, early childhood education, as well as early childhood special education. And it prepares you to work in the field in either an early intervention setting, an early childhood special education setting, in, say, a preschool type of program, or you can work as a kindergarten, first, or second grade teacher in New York State.
The HECIP program that Dr. Hernandez just spoke about is for individuals who are not certified and have an interest in the field. So you don't really have to be a teacher or have an education background. Whereas the HECIS program is for individuals who are already certified. Those individuals will also receive dual certification, one in early childhood special education, and they will receive an advanced certificate in applied behavior analysis. That qualifies you to sit for the BCBA exam, which would give you a certification to be a behavior analyst.
So the benefits of these two individual scholarships are significant and notable. The HECIP program will provide tuition remission for 16 of the 48 credits. The HECIS program will provide tuition remission for 18 of the 45 credits in the program. Students can also, if they are eligible, apply for and receive a Teach Grant scholarship as well as a Hagedorn Fellowship, which could cover about another 15 credits during their graduate program. Students might also be eligible for merit-based scholarships through the department and apply for federal financial aid through the FAFSA program. Now, please note that the HECIP and the HECIS grants do require students, when they agree to receive the tuition remission, to work in the field of special education for potentially up to 4 years after they graduate. But the federal government allows for students to basically fulfill those 4 years of service obligation over the course of 9 years after one graduates. So there's plenty of time to work in the field to fulfill those 4 years of service obligation that the federal government requires as a result of receiving these tuition remission credits.
Some of the program highlights include a plan of study that combines face-to-face and online classroom instruction, including site-based coursework. It also has fieldwork and supervision in selected community-based partner sites that integrate theory and practice. And that's why we're so fortunate to have Carolyn Gammerman with us today, because her site is one of our selected community-based partners. Another feature of the program is continuous mentoring and advisement throughout the program. Students who come full-time can complete the programs in 2 years.
Now, I can also add that the completing of these programs in 2 years includes coursework in the fall, in January, the spring, as well as in the summer. But with our ability to provide courses in both face-to-face as well as in an online format, it gives students tremendous opportunities for scheduling flexibility. So courses can sometimes be offered fully online, sometimes fully face-to-face, and sometimes in what's called a hybrid format, where some of the classes will meet face-to-face and some of the classes within the course will be online. So there's a tremendous amount of flexibility when it comes to scheduling. Courses that are offered are generally offered in a face-to-face format at the end of the day, either in the late afternoon or the early evenings. If they're offered online, they're offered in what's called an asynchronous manner, which means that there is no one set time on a particular day which the classes meet online, but you have over the course of several days, if not up to a week, in which to complete what is called generally a course module or a course lesson.
Both programs provide the skills necessary to work with young children with disabilities and their families. It focuses on serving young children across a full range of disabilities, mild, moderate, severe, and multiple. HECIP leads to dual certification in early childhood general education and early childhood special education, and HECIS includes a specialization in applied behavior analysis in addition to the certification in early childhood special education.
So again, with both programs, the certification that one is eligible for once they complete the program is from birth through grade 2. So in New York State, an individual with either one of these 2 degrees and that certification can work in an early intervention setting with infants and toddlers from birth to age 3, in a specialized preschool setting for children ages 3 to 5, as well as in a kindergarten, first, or second grade setting. And with the certification that you'll have as a result of either of these 2 programs, you can work, in an inclusive setting, in a self-contained classroom. You can even work on a one-on-one basis with children out in the community.
The conceptual framework of the program focuses on inclusive education, and that's a theme that's woven through all of our courses. And we believe that the principles that guide inclusive education include universal design for learning and technology, which provides access to curriculum for all learners. We also stress culturally responsive teaching because we know that the populations in classroom are very diverse today. Collaborative partnerships are very much a part of early childhood special education. It's a team approach. Teachers will end up working with physical therapists, occupational therapists, speech therapists, so it's very important that they learn how to be a collaborative partner. Diagnosis and assessment is also a very important piece of early childhood special education. And of course, the HECIS program focuses on applied behavior analysis. If you look at the UDL principles, they all focus in on making curriculum accessible for children with special needs.
As was noted earlier, students in both of these programs have very, very enhanced, clinically rich experiences. They receive placements in a number of different settings within the Nassau County, Suffolk County, as well as New York City area. And those placements include the Variety Child Learning Center, the Developmental Disabilities Institute Starting Early programs, as well as the Genesis Eden 2 schools. Students complete a minimum of 100 hours of field placement with young children with disabilities, and the School of Education Placement, Field Placement Office and faculty, including Dr. Schwartz and myself, assist in coordinating student placements. So you don't have to go out and find your own field placement settings. We find them for you. That includes the field work that you have to do during your coursework, as well as your student teaching. Let me emphasize also that during your student teaching, you do not necessarily need to quit working. If you are working in an appropriate setting, serving, and you are the teacher of record with young children with disabilities in a birth through grade 2 setting, you could conceivably continue to work while you were student teaching. We would obviously have to make sure that you could fulfill the responsibilities of a student teacher and that your employer is in agreement with this arrangement, but it is definitely possible that you could complete your student teaching as well as the entire program while you are working on a full-time basis. This does not preclude individuals from working while they are going to school here and completing these programs. So,
we'd like to highlight Variety Child Learning Center because we consider it one of our premier learning sites and our partner, and so Carolyn's going to tell you about it.
Well, Variety Child Learning Center is one of the many early childhood special education programs in Nassau and Suffolk, and we are one of the ones partnering with Hofstra. We offer clinically rich experiences to students in early intervention, which is birth to 3, preschool, which is 3 to 5, and school age, which is kindergarten through 2nd grade. So we offer these different classes for children with disabilities. Some of the classes may offer ABA, Spanish support, or integration with typical children. Teacher mentors ensure that students have the opportunity to actively interact with the children, as well as assigned staff and team members, including related service providers. Variety has a rich history of offering intensive family support, and social workers will also be members of those teams. We currently have HECIS students doing their student teaching at Variety, and anticipate in the fall we may have HECIP students as well. The faculty advisors have a real presence at Variety and actively observe the student teachers. We offer students the opportunity to utilize curricular materials, plan lesson plans, and offer instructional strategies as appropriate.
that is fantastic, Carolyn. Thank you so much. And again, we cannot say enough about our community partners, especially Variety. You will leave our program fully prepared to be a successful teacher, and that's a result of the coursework, the clinically rich experiences, as well as the additional student and scholarly support that we provide to you. Mentoring and supporting students are very, very important aspects of the program. Grant recipients form a cohort group that continues throughout the program. We have an orientation at the beginning of every fall semester where you get to meet other students that are starting as well as students that have been in the program. They can obviously share some insights. You meet faculty, you meet administrators, and you get to know more in depth who we are and what the program is going to be all about. There are also a lot of opportunities to network through our student organizations, including SAGO, or the Student Special Education Graduate Association, as well as the Council for Exceptional Children organization that we have here on campus. And then faculty, myself, Dr. Schwartz, and others serve as advisors to all of you throughout your plan of study. We see that there was a question provided by one of our participants regarding EdTPA. For those that are not familiar with EdTPA, EdTPA is the portfolio assessment that all new teachers, first certification teachers, need to pass in New York State in order to become certified. And yes, we do provide extensive support. In addition to being the Director of Early Childhood Special Education, I'm also the coordinator of EdTPA here in the School of Education. And myself, Dr. Schwartz, and other full-time faculty provide support to students every semester. And we're very, very happy to say that over the last year, we have a 100% pass rate of all of our early childhood special education student teachers on EdTPA. And our students, once they complete EdTPA, feel much, much more prepared for the classroom setting than they did beforehand. So, yes, we provide extensive support. Students will receive, at minimum, 3 to 4 full days of orientation on EdTPA while they are student teaching, but more importantly, they're going to be prepared for EdTPA throughout all of their courses, and they'll be ready to go once they start student teaching. So there's extensive support provided to students. Dr. Schwartz, do you have anything to add?
Yes, I was going to say that it's important to realize that the HECIS program is for already certified teachers. So EdTPA does not pertain to them. EdTPA does pertain to the HECIP students who come with no background in the field.
So then you might ask yourself, okay, so I'm going to come to Hofstra and I'm going to get this fantastic degree. What about jobs? Well, the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics estimates a 21% increase in early childhood special education job opportunities through 2020. So graduates of our programs enjoy careers in a variety of settings as educators, and in the instance of the HECIS program, as a behavior analyst. And as I said earlier, you could work in early intervention, doing primarily home-based work. You could also be a special education itinerant teacher, or a SEIT, that would also be home-based. You could be a teacher in a special education preschool class, whether it be an inclusive or a self-contained setting, as well as you could do kindergarten, first or second grade, again, inclusive, self-contained, in public and or private schools. Let me also note that the service obligation agreement applies to any program where you are serving children with disabilities. At least 51% of your time or 51% of the students that you work with need to have an IEP or an IFSP in the case of early intervention. And it could be in a private school setting or it could be in a public school. So there's no restrictions on what type of school. It could be in any district in any one of the 50 states in the country.
Dr. Hernandez and I are very proud to tell you that all of our students get employment upon graduation because we have an excellent reputation for the preparation of early childhood special educators. Do you want to add to that?
I mean, again, just to add to what Dr. Schwartz is saying, all of our graduates, we have been working with over the past 2 years throughout these grant programs, all are employed as special educators. Some of them are employed in the New York area, some of them are employed out of state, but if you want a job, there's no reason why you can't have one. There's plenty of jobs, especially in the New York metropolitan area, but throughout the country. You've probably been hearing a lot about the expansion of universal pre-K, and that's only contributing to the job opportunities for individuals with these types of degrees.
And I might add that Hofstra's reputation concerning the preparation of early childhood special educators is excellent, and schools are looking for our graduates.
And add the fact that we do have such a high pass rate on the EdTPA only adds to our reputation, and it opens doors for graduates when they are applying for a job. Principals and school superintendents and program directors know who we are, they know of our reputation, and they know of the quality of students that we produce here, and that obviously that contributes to your success as well.
Who should apply? Individuals with a strong desire to serve young children with disabilities and their families who wish special training in early childhood special education should apply. Grant recipients commit to working in the field for 2 years of service for every year they receive grant funding. But as Dr. Hernandez mentioned, there's a long period of time for which you have to complete that commitment.
So again, if you receive funding over the course of 2 years, you then need to work in the field for 4 years. But you have up to 9 years in which to complete those 4 years of service obligation. So application requirements. One, obviously, you need to complete an application, and that's available at hofstra.edu/gradapply. The HECIP program requires an individual to have a bachelor's degree in liberal arts, including the completion of general education core prerequisites, which you can see online. The HECIS program requires candidates to possess initial or professional certification in childhood or early childhood education. Everyone needs to have a GPA of 3.0. As of July 1, everyone will have needed to submit GRE scores for admission, and then you also need to have 3 letters of recommendation, and those are submitted directly by references. You need to submit a written personal statement of professional intent. Why do you want to be an early childhood special educator? And then once all of that is completed, you will be scheduled to come in to meet with one of us for an interview.
Don't be discouraged if you don't meet the requirements exactly, because we recognize that people have a lot of talent, and we're looking for people that want to make that commitment and have a passion for the field. So if you feel that you don't have the GPA, or you haven't taken the GREs yet, come in and speak to us, and we'll talk about possibilities for being in the program.
So I'll talk about the HECIP program, and then I'll pass it off to Dr. Schwartz to talk about the HECIS program. Again, HECIP stands for the Hofstra Early Childhood Interdisciplinary Professionals program, and the scholarship highlights are, again, it's a 48-credit dual initial certification program. You graduate with an MS Ed in Inclusive Early Childhood Special Education. It is for individuals who are not previously certified in early childhood or childhood education. So individuals with backgrounds in psychology, in fields unrelated to education are perfectly appropriate to apply.
Even career changes.
Even career changes. We have many individuals who are, leaving the corporate world and coming to us for a variety of reasons, including, they want to help kids. They want to work with young children, especially those with special needs. You have to have an undergraduate degree with a liberal arts core, and you have to meet those liberal arts requirements. You receive 16 credits of tuition remission. That's over the course of your 2 years. And as a result, graduates are prepared for New York State certification in early childhood special education and early childhood education, birth through grade 2.
HECIS, on the other hand, Hofstra's Early Childhood Intervention Specialist, requires 45 credits to complete. It's for students who have been previously certified in early childhood or childhood education, and those students would, as such, have HECIP qualifications. 18 credits of the tuition remission is provided, and graduates are prepared for New York State certification in early childhood special education, and the program fulfills the education requirements of the Behavior Analyst Certification Board. Upon completion of the Behavior Analyst program, you're able to sit for the BCBA exam.
So if you want more information, you can contact, either one of us. You can schedule an appointment. You can also speak with our colleague, Erica Applebaum, who's in our graduate admissions office, particularly for the School of Education. Again, Carolyn, do you have anything else that you would like to add regarding variety and the field placement opportunities that people have?
Well, I must say it's been really gratifying so far to work with the student teachers. We work closely with them to ascertain what their interests are, their needs, what their experiences have been so far, and what they'd like to acquire by their student teaching, and their long-term goals. So we really try to come to a good match for the student teachers with the classroom so that you really can maximize your experience.
So do we have any questions from our audience? I know we had the one regarding HECIP. So again, let me expand upon that. So as I said earlier, we have at a minimum 3 full days of support provided to students from student teaching on. But then again, in addition to those 3 full days, we have weekly seminars with our student teachers throughout their student teaching experience. And during those seminars, we also work on the HECIP portfolios. Dr. Schwartz, you want to talk a little bit about those seminars and how we provide student support during the HECIP development process?
Yes, full-time faculty, Dr. Hernandez and myself, work individually with students to go through the HECIP process, and we've been very successful, so we're very proud about that. But I wanted to answer Michelle from Massapequa. She has a question that she would like to ask, and her question is, can she just come in and talk to us about the program and get more face-to-face personal information? And the answer is, of course, yes. We'd love to meet you, and we've given you our contact, so give us a call and come in and speak to us.
We have another question regarding how big are the classes. I would be talking about how many students. You wouldn't have a class with more than 20 students in it, and many classes will have around 15. So we're not talking about big lecture classes. We're talking about classes where we will get to know you as a student. You will get to know us as a professor. Everything will be located in one building in Hagedorn Hall, which is a wonderful building, a lovely facility with plenty of free parking. Very, very nice classrooms with advanced technology, smart boards in every room. We have Blackboard, which is a great online platform for teaching and the dissemination of information. And you will be personalized in your education, and you will be one of a few students that we have the privilege of working with. So you don't get lost in the crowd here at Hofstra in this program.
So as you can hear, we have a passion for our field, and we're very proud of our program. So if you're interested in the field, we'd love to hear from you.